This video is a bit overdue, I apologize about that, but it is about my favorite photographic subject of 2022. I hope you enjoy. The story for this particular video starts about 10 years ago when I was alone in a cinema watching a movie called To the Wonder by Terrence Malick, of all people. Being a Terrence Malick film, it's not for everyone, but visually it's an incredible movie, and if you like good-looking films, you should watch it. But I remember being there and seeing something for the first time and being absolutely astounded by it in that cinema. I mean, it was like a castle that had been made in the middle of nowhere and quicksand. Nothing else was around it. I remember being in that cinema 10 years ago and thinking, you know what? In 10 years' time exactly, I'd like to go to there and make some photographs of that beautiful castle on my Mamiya RZ67 with some Kodak Gold, my wife, and my tiny human. And so you know what? I did just that. The thing that I've been admiring this entire time is obviously Le Mont Saint-Michel. And for those of you who don't know, Le Mont Saint-Michel is an abbey that was built on a mound in the middle of a bay in Normandy in France. Ever since I saw it in that Terrence Malick film 10 years ago, I wanted to shoot it so badly. And so this photographic exploration of Le Mont Saint-Michel begins in a coastal town across the bay called Carol, where I tried to take some photographs recreating the moment that I saw the abbey for the very first time. I love these photographs of Le Mont Saint-Michel in the context of the bay. You don't really see much of these with Mont Saint-Michel being so tiny off in the distance. But it's one thing to see Mont Saint-Michel from across the bay and another thing entirely to visit it, to walk it, and to shoot it for yourself. Allow me a moment to get the gear out of the way. I was using my Mamiya RZ67 loaded with a roll of Kodak Gold to get all of the medium format shots. For my digital shots, I was using the trusty Fuji X100S, which I recently made a video review of. You can check it out over here. I was also using my Canon AV-1, which I actually left in the UK. So imagine that I'm holding the Canon AV-1 in my hand. Isn't it beautiful? I love this thing. Part of the reason why Mont Saint-Michel is so interesting and why it brings such a large group of tourists from around the world is the story of the actual abbey, how it was built. As it goes, an 8th century bishop was visited by a series of visions that involved Archangel Michael coming down from heaven and laying out some plans for the construction of an abbey between nowhere and some quicksand in France. The bishop, being very stunned by these visions, looked over the plans and said to Michael, "This is absolute fire, bro. Let's build it, like right now. Let's do it." And that's how Mont Saint-Michel came about. The very, very top spire of Le Mont Saint-Michel has a golden statue of Archangel Michael, basically. And that was only completed in the 19th century, so it took a long time for this entire castle to be built on this abbey, primarily because they chose to build it between nowhere and quicksand, and it's very difficult to manage a construction project with logistics like that. Another thing about Le Mont Saint-Michel, for those interested, is that it actually falls upon St. Michael's line, which is a line that you can draw across Europe that shows you the locations of all of the churches that have been built in honor of St. Michael. So it's actually a very interesting place geographically and historically on the planet, and you can thank my wife for all of that lovely information. All of the trips that we took out to Le Mont Saint-Michel and all of the photographs that I made of this incredible place made it my favorite photography subject of 2022. My approach to this work wasn't really to make any bangers, it was more to study this structure and its effect on the environment around it, from the shadows it cast across the bay to how it looked far, far away on the cliffs in Carol. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for supporting my channel. And if you'd like to check out my Buy Me a Coffee and support the Film Fam, you can do so at the link in the description box below the like button. That is it. Thanks for your patience, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Sorry, man. Life has been happening. Life has been happening. As soon as you when your baby becomes a toddler, shit gets real. I'm telling you. Shit gets real fast.